is another story. I think it's worth discussing, and the reason why I'm saying it's worth discussing, and it's time and will break. A lot of people were discussing this issue about schools and encourage Sibu ebi Christopher Omoko in Kremofo school and ebi in Kremofo Omoko a Christopher school. And then I say Supreme Court directs Wesley Girls Senior High School to respond to Muslim rights allegations. And I think that case is still ongoing. But it's very important to say, you better be say. I think say Ghana no, we waste time on things and it's a wasted time also. To be very, very honest with you, this issue is a national conversation. No. We are not supposed to make this matter a national conversation. The reason why I say this is I say you wasted time or nyoma bibriswa. In the first place, we are not even supposed to allow it to be a national conversation. Because in the first place, there is nowhere in Ghana obi betuma catch saying Kremufo any a Christopher Eko. Since they say a woman as a Ghanaian, menti bi da. Say in Kremufo bi guha. Omni a Christopher bi so mu guha. I can't see any omoko. Menti bi da. So in the first place, there's no cause for alarm. We are not even supposed to make this a conversation. Adiachini eti radio, suni TV so. And the more we speak on this, and some foolish people who cannot think are putting some comments out because they are so emotionally attached to Omujimi Inti. It is basically making this conversation, which is not supposed to get to this point, get to this point. Now, majority of us in Ghana, the reason why Yambako school aired because you want them to go to a school and go pass exams further to tertiary institutions, and we become proud as parents. And I'm a awuphobia or Ghana biano or priority obama akwarako school in the say onko suadie. Enti say or a Christoni na say oko ebia Islamic school. The reason why I wouldn't call Islamic school in the say unim say Islamic school with omo ya ade. Enti ebia TI Amas. Omo ya ade what is omo ya ade enti me pese me ba ko ho. Oye Christoni. The reason why I would ba ko on say o pese o ba no pass. Into the priority number one is for your kid to go have an education. So you in Kremoni, and the seminary Kremo for now so case oba enko persec. The reason I'm about enko persec, the priority in say enko persec enko suya de no on passing exams, na on be de enko university and whatever further. That is your priority. Into school in a priority. Anything that comes after the school biano a add-on. Anything that comes after the school na nipane kobiano add on enti so obi ko presec so obi ko achimota so obi ko tiamas or incrimoni or a Christoni as far as or students now we wura ho no the priority number one is to go learn pass enti awuphobia no priority no now sakrani incrimoni na so ko a Presbyterian school, a Catholic school, an Anglican school and akra no Christoni na oko tiama and a Muslim school. At the end of the day, no, the Akorana Asuma Osomono, it does not affect Akorana de no Oceano. Because at the end of the day, sa Akorano's eco school na baby Asuma Osomono, it is not a priority to Wuna Osha and now Akorana baby Oceano. That is not a priority. Sa Akorabi bus school or presec, now in Crimoni, now at the end of the day, or passing the exams, now or to University. We don't ask say akora way or call per second no yen cremoni on your chances esmoye or the priority is akora ne pass ye. Now anything a can additional no a add-on, and when I say it's add-on, it is the work of the school. It is the work of the school to make sure say akora bi o biano at the end of the day why comfortable. Now sa akora bi yen cremoni wo per sec. Na say ebia Presec school, 99% of the students in a Christopher a mission school. That is why we have something called the PTA. This conversation is a PTA conversation. This conversation is not a Supreme Court conversation. This conversation is not a TV conversation. This conversation, it is not a parliament conversation. This conversation is a PTA conversation. We cannot make this a national conversation. The reason why it's a PTA conversation is that Samia kwa meti hey. Me wo me ba na me hu se tia ma dia school ni a good school chen per sec. Na me pesa me ba no ko abra me nim se school no eyen kremosom na tete school na se eyen kremofo no doso. Se bio eyen kremom na tete school na. I know se me ba ne ko no eyen school a eyen kremofo school. So if I'm a member of the PTA, not say PTA meeting, I can raise an issue and say, PTA board, please, me ba no, I love this school. Oko school ha, me peso be pass na oktumi ko nanim. Can you in some way no move to me amaya so ya dwendwene ape a way to make sure say enkwara no mwa na omo so nya nkremufo no, we can create an avenue for them to at least also feel comfortable when they want to practice their religion. The people on the PTAs, they won't come for you a Christopher, Sebio, Omunjimi, they will have to sit and agree because I am mad. So this issue is an issue. The schools have to deal with it. This is not an issue the education minister has to deal with. This is not an issue the president has to deal with. This is not an issue that we need to go to parliament and discuss. Because Ghana, you know, ye Christopher, and Krimofo, Obianku ye. It is a meba echo a per sec, na be incrimony, na meba oha, na PTA, and it's not a ban we buy. Why introduce PTA? These are some of the jobs of PTA. And it's not a ban we buy. I say PTA is important. Go to PTA meetings. These are issues that you raise at PTA meetings. Into buy incrimony, na okosko per sec. Na say, o per se, oka oban religion as some say, yamma omu baby abia per sec. Muslim students or mommy abia 20. Na se mo nyina mo parents ba PTA no mka oh PTA board please ya asem to manim nie ya nka say ya mesi masalachi o school mu ha ya nka say ya ma no omo ndane school no to nkremofo school but ya pe school no adesua na course no anything de buy mo betumi ameki arrangements a ya ma no so betumi anya baby sebio asom omo nya baby omo ya sala omo betumi ya sala omo baby omo ya akwanchira omo betumi ya akwanchire. PTA is there to analyze these things, reason together and make provisions. That is all. I see a Jimmy, I see a Niminyansa. And no one way nam ha, no can wait, and then cremophone way back, and then Christopher pen cremophosum into between your motives. I don't know what Jimmy sa, Mubu to do more Jimmy. It has not gotten to that point where we have to even argue about this for this to end up in court. Because the reason why Sanyoma we nyinano any say a PA ebedru national as a national conversation say the PTA's job is to make sure these things are dealt with. Because Presec, during my time at Presec, there were Muslim students in my school. Sebio, now you call assembly, you call worship Sundays. They don't want to go. When you go to Presec, a small space was made for them to worship, and they were going there to worship. In fact, so we call the not a science block. When you go down to Engman, when you're going down a little bit, now say opa, I don't even know how to explain it. Anytime you're bedroom baby, we keep quiet. We walk quietly. Because we know, say, this place has been dedicated to school. So it is the responsibility of the PTA because school Bia was basically established on some day, on some ground, on some belief. But